Something shocking has just happened in Angola. The government has given Chinese nationals only 24 hours to leave the country. Yes, only one day. Can you imagine that? Just one day to pack up and leave everything behind. Why? Because the Angolan government says they have been stealing minerals, breaking laws, and damaging the environment. This decision is huge. It is not just a small story. It is a big turning point for Angola and maybe for the whole of Africa. For years, many Africans have been saying that foreigners come into Africa, take all the resources, make huge profits, and leave Africans with nothing but poverty and environmental damage. But now Angola is saying enough is enough. To really understand why this is such a big deal, we need to go back a little. Angola is one of the richest countries in Africa when it comes to natural resources. The country has oil, diamonds, gold, and many other minerals that are very valuable in the world market. These resources can make Angola a very rich country, but unfortunately, most of the wealth never reaches the ordinary people. Many Angolans are still poor, young people are still jobless, and the roads, schools, and hospitals are not as good as they should be. Why is this happening? Because for many years, foreigners have come to Angola and taken these resources for themselves. They dig the gold, take the diamonds, and export them to their own countries. And most of the time, they do it illegally or through corrupt deals. Angola has been losing billions of dollars because of this. One of the main groups involved in this is the Chinese. Many Chinese companies and workers have been in Angola for years. They came after the civil war in Angola ended in 2002. At that time, Angola needed help to rebuild the country, and China offered loans and investments. They built roads, railways, and other infrastructure. But along with this, Chinese nationals also started mining and trading in minerals. Some did it legally, but many others started illegal mining operations. Now this problem is not just in Angola. It is happening across Africa. For example, in Ghana, illegal mining by Chinese nationals has been a big problem for years. In fact, just months ago, Ghanaian authorities arrested 10 Chinese nationals for smuggling gold. They were operating without licenses and breaking environmental laws. And that was not the first time. It has been happening again and again. Rivers in Ghana have been polluted, farms destroyed, and local people left with nothing. The same story is playing out in many countries. Zambia, Zimbabwe, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and others. Chinese companies and individuals come in, take the resources, and leave a big mess behind. And while this is happening, local people remain poor. They watch their land being destroyed, and they don't even get jobs because most of the workers are brought from China. So Angola decided it had had enough. Reports started coming out that Chinese nationals in Angola were also involved in illegal mining and resource laundering. They were not just mining gold and diamonds, but also taking rare minerals, which are very important in making electronics, like smartphones and batteries for electric cars. And they were doing it without proper licenses, avoiding taxes, and causing serious environmental damage. When the Angolan government realized how big this problem had become, they decided to act. And they acted fast. They didn't call for a meeting or a long negotiation. They gave a clear and strong order. You have 24 hours to leave Angola. This is one of the fastest and boldest decisions ever taken by an African country on this issue. Imagine the scene. Chinese workers in different parts of Angola getting the news. They have only one day to pack their things and leave. Some were probably shocked, some angry, and some scared. Businesses that had been operating for years suddenly had to shut down. Offices, homes, and even mining sites had to be abandoned. It was chaos. But for many Angolans, this decision brought a sense of pride and relief. They felt like their government was finally standing up for them. For years, people have been complaining about foreigners taking resources and leaving nothing behind. Now, they see their leaders taking action. This is not just about kicking out some people. This is about protecting Angola's future. If the illegal mining continued, Angola would lose more and more of its resources. The land would be destroyed, rivers polluted, and people left even poorer. By acting now, Angola is saying, our resources belong to us. They should benefit our people, not outsiders.
Quick word here. That's not really the truth, to be honest with you guys. The thing is that why Angolan civilians are doing that, starting riots, okay? Why? It's not because of Chinese. It's because the government is stealing money from the resources, okay? Corruption. That's the reason why. Angola is one of the most expensive countries in the world and in Africa for expats. So now, imagine Angolan civilians, what their life look like. Okay, they don't have the money, everything's expensive. That's the reason why they started the riot. And the government used the Chinese situation, which is true, and they use that to say, oh, all people are tired of you guys, you're illegally mining, you're stealing resources, you're stealing minerals, stuff like that. We want you out of the country. You have 24 hours. Okay? That's a strategic move from the government. Not because of the Angolan civilian being tired of Chinese doing illegal stuff in Angola, which is true. But that's not the case here. They are mixing the news, you know? I always say that Chinese are not African friends. The only thing I say all the time, I say Chinese do a win-win partnership. Do you want words, ports, cities, infrastructures? We will build that, and we will keep that during 27 years, and after that it's yours. It's a business. And 27 years for a nation is nothing. And then after that it's yours. Okay, perfect. You know what I mean? But the thing is that you have a lot of corruption in Africa. Every countries, except maybe Burkina Faso with Ibrahim Traore, all of them are sellouts. All of them are corrupt. All of them work hand to hand with the Americans, Europeans, Chinese. Okay? China would never be able to do what they're doing if the politics in Angola did not allow them to do that. Let that sink in. Okay? Because can you explain me why would you do a business with a country? They bring their workers while you have jobless people in your own country that need to work. That's insane. You don't do business like that. I never seen such thing like that. Okay, you can bring the head of, engineer, whatever. But to do the basic jobs, you can hire your local people. But Angola did a deal with China. Yeah, come here, build infrastructures, and bring your workers from China. That's insane. So they have jobless Chinese people in China. They do business with China. And those jobless Chinese people are getting shipped to Africa to work, to do businesses. And they do illegal stuff on the side. That's crazy. That's crazy. We, the diaspora, we need to jump in. I'm telling you. We are the only one that will develop Africa. I'm telling you. We need to be leaders in the governments, presidents, CEOs, because some Africans in Africa are wicked-minded. They allow many things to happen to them. There's a bunch of video in Africa saying you see Chinese mistreating Africans and Africans saying nothing. That's insane. That's a wicked-minded. Those Chinese will never do that in the diaspora with us because they know they cannot do that. But they go in Africa and they know, yeah, these Africans in Africa are weak. We can slap them in the head and we can do whatever we want. They wouldn't say nothing because they're poor, they want the job, stuff like that. That's insane. That's why the reason why I keep saying we, the diaspora, we need to do something. We need to go back and forth in Africa, do businesses, stuff like that. Otherwise, by the time we wake up, it's over. I told you, I was in Tanzania last year, Zanzibar. I saw Chinese, Indians, Turkish, Europeans living the soft life, creating businesses, owning lands. Now, they cannot own lands, they can just rent the land. But I was like, where are the diaspora? They are living the soft life there. And a lot of us did STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. We can go there, start businesses, and live the soft life as well. Or if you want to stay in the diaspora, we can do the back and forth. You know what I mean? But this is what's happening right now. This is breaking news in Angola. It's great. But Angola, you also need to learn something. They just found in Angola right now a worth billion natural gas. That's insane. Angola is a freaking rich country. They have everything, golds, minerals, petroleum. They just found natural gas worth billions. And the people are still poor. The people are still poor. The government own everything. They all have everything they want. They develop certain neighborhoods where they live, with their families, their friends. That's insane. That's why I keep saying we need Africa first leaders. We need to kick out all these sellout leaders. And with the diaspora, we need to play a huge role in it. Let's keep pushing, guys.
But of course, this decision has consequences. Some experts say Angola could face economic problems because many Chinese companies were involved in big projects like construction and infrastructure. If they all leave, some of these projects might stop. That could mean delays in building roads, bridges, and other important things. It could also affect trade because China is one of Angola's biggest trading partners. Some people are worried that this decision could cause problems. They say it might make relations with China worse. China has given loans to many African countries, and if they are angry, they might stop helping. But here is the truth. Real help should not come with exploitation. If someone gives you a loan, but then takes all your resources and makes you poor, is that really help? No, it is not. However, many Africans believe this short-term pain is worth it. Why? Because if Angola succeeds in protecting its resources and making sure that wealth stays in the country, the benefits will be huge in the long run. It will create jobs for local people, bring more money into the government for schools, hospitals, and development, and stop the destruction of the environment. Now the big question is, will Angola stand firm, or will they back down after pressure from outside? Will other African countries do the same thing? Will Ghana, Zimbabwe, or the Democratic Republic of Congo also take bold steps to protect their resources? Or will they continue to allow illegal mining and exploitation? This is where Angola's decision becomes even more important. If Angola shows that it can survive without depending on foreigners who exploit them, other countries will be encouraged to do the same. Think about how much Africa could change if every country controlled its resources properly. Africa has some of the richest lands in the world. We have gold, diamonds, oil, and rare minerals. These are things the world needs for technology, energy, and industry. If Africans use these resources wisely, there will be no need for poverty. There will be enough money to build good schools, hospitals, and industries. Young people will have jobs, and Africa will be strong. But for this to happen, Africa must stop letting outsiders take everything for free. That is why what Angola did is so important. They sent a message to the world. We will not be exploited anymore. Now, let's be honest. Africans need fair deals, not deals that make others rich and keep us poor. Angola understands this now. And this is why this decision is so powerful. It is about dignity. It is about respect. It is about saying, Africa belongs to Africans. Imagine if tomorrow Ghana says the same thing, then Zambia, then Kenya, then Nigeria. Imagine if all of Africa stood together and said, our resources will benefit our people first. That would be the start of a new Africa. This is why we at Africa Awakens are talking about this today. Because we believe this could be a turning point. Angola's action might be the first step in Africa's true economic independence. Political independence came in the 1960s for most countries, but economic independence is still a dream. Maybe this is the beginning. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you think Angola did the right thing? Should other African countries follow this example? Is this the only way Africa can truly rise? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And before you go, please make sure you subscribe to Africa Awakens and turn on the notification bell.
Shout out to African Awaken for the video. Yeah, that's I can't even talk. That's crazy, because it's sad that Angola is going through that, because the only explanation is corruption. You know what I mean? It's corruption. It's not about, I don't know, whatever they're talking about, Chinese doing this, Chinese doing that. It's all about corruption. You know what I mean? We have a corrupt government in Angola, so people are tired. And the government used that situation with the Chinese to, to switch the mind of the Angolan civilians to focus someone else and not to them. But in Angola, everything's expensive. That's the reason why Angolan civilians are rioting, are striking, are doing everything they do. Because everything's expensive. One of the expensive country in the world for expats. So can you imagine for local people? It's impossible. Everything's extremely expensive. So that's the reason why they started the movement, And the government used the Chinese situation to say, yeah, Chinese, you have 24 hours to leave the country, otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen to them, but probably nothing. In a few months, they're going to go back in Angola, so I'm not sure about that. That's the reason why we need the leaders, Africa first leaders, pro-national African leaders, not sellouts, not corrupt people. And this is why we need also the diaspora to play a huge part in it. You know what I mean? Because we have a lot of African in Africa with wicked-minded, They accept everything. They're scared of the foreigners. I've seen Chinese, Europeans behaving nastily towards Africans, and they just accept that. That's not the way to do these things, right? And I know we, the diaspora, we fight for this. And we don't accept to be treated like that. Here in the diaspora, they don't do that to us. But in Africa, they know that there's a lot of African weak-minded. So they do what they want to do to them. But we need to play a huge role. We need to play a huge role with the diaspora. Do the back and forth, going there, trying to solve problems, trying to educate people there. You know what I mean? Yeah, breaking news, Angola. We'll see what's gonna happen. I'm keeping you with the news. Yeah. So guys, don't forget to subscribe, to like, to comment below. Watch the next video that's going to pop up here. Yeah, show me love. Subscribe to the channel, watch the full video, watch the next video. It's all about love. This is African Minute. And yeah, till next time, take care of you and your family. Peace and out. Thanks.